Welcome to Momin's World. Today, we're diving into the wisdom and inspiration of famous Americans through their iconic quotes. Throughout history, Americans have articulated profound ideas with their stirring sentiments and timeless quotes that continue to resonate with people around the world. Today, we're going to explore the wisdom of some of America's most influential figures through their most memorable quotes. From the stirring words of Thomas Jefferson to the powerful message of Martin Luther King Jr., American history is filled with moments of inspiration and courage. Join us as we journey through the words of some of these remarkable individuals, gaining insight, motivation, and perhaps a new perspective on life. So sit back, relax, and let's delve together into the wisdom of famous quotes by famous Americans. Our first quote is by the world-famous boxer Muhammad Ali, who said, "If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, then I can achieve it." Our second quote is by Mark Twain, American writer, humorist, and essayist. He said, "The secret of getting ahead is getting started." Our third famous quote is by Theodore Roosevelt, American politician and statesman. He said, "Believe you can, and you're halfway there." Our fourth famous quote is by the American politician and statesman John F. Kennedy. He said, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." Our fifth quote is by the famous astronaut Neil Armstrong, the first man to set foot on the moon. As he put his foot on the moon, he said, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Our sixth quote is by Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, and who wrote the Declaration of Independence. He said, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal." Our seventh quote is by the world-famous boxer Muhammad Ali. This is one of the most famous quotes of all time. He said, "Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee." Our eighth quote is by the former US President and statesman John F. Kennedy. He said, "If not us, who? If not now, when?" Our ninth quote is by Steve Jobs, American businessman, inventor, and co-founder and CEO of Apple Incorporated. He said, "The only way to do great work is to love what you do." Our 10th quote is by Martin Luther King Jr., the American pastor, activist, and leader in the civil rights movement in the 1960s. He said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." Our 11th quote is by the computer scientist Alan Kay. He said, "The best way to predict the future is to invent it." Our 12th quote is by the American writer Robert Frost. He said, "In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life." It goes on. Our 13th quote is by the former President and statesman Abraham Lincoln. He said, "In the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years." Our 14th quote is by a former First Lady of the US, Eleanor Roosevelt. She said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Our 15th quote is by the American writer Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Our 16th quote is by the American author Helen Keller. She said, "The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart." Our 17th quote is by the American writer, humorist, and essayist Mark Twain. He said, "20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do." Our 18th quote is by the world-famous boxer Muhammad Ali. He said, "The man who views the world at 50 the same as he did at 20 has wasted 30 years of his life." Our 19th quote is by the American writer Robert Frost. He said, "Poetry is when an emotion has found its thought, and the thought has found words." Our final quote is by Martin Luther King Jr., the American pastor, activist, and leader in the civil rights movement in the 1960s. He said, "I have a dream." Thank you for watching Momin's World. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like our content. Remember, stay insightful and wonder about life.